Welcome back, Chelsea fans, to the London is Blue YouTube channel. And we got a special one today because not only are we going to talk about Chelsea's 1-0 win over Arsenal in the WSL, which will create a sizable gap in the table, but first and foremost, we're going to talk about Chelsea with the premier signing of any transfer window for some time, probably since Sam Kerr. That is Naomi Girma signing with Chelsea Football Club. An unbelievable signing, one that I called a couple of weeks ago, and that is why I'm wearing my U.S. Women's National Team shirt, because I am so excited that Naomi Girma is a Chelsea player. She is the premier center back in world football. She's unbelievable, and I am giddy because this team just needed one little piece. Turns out it was a pretty big piece, and look, the sporting structure on the women's side, unlike on the men's side, have gone out and absolutely got the creme de la creme of center backs in women's football. Naomi Girma is an outstanding center back. Emma Hayes has called her the best she's ever seen ever. Casey Stoney, former San Diego Wave coach, has said she doesn't even know how good she is. Her teammates hail her as a leader. Her coaches love her for being selfless and doing all of the dirty work. She is a tremendous player and really a tremendous person. If you haven't read all of the articles on chelseafc.com about her upbringing, her family, the fact that they immigrated to the United States, her parents had nothing. She grew up playing soccer, captained Stamford to a college national championship, friends with Katerina Macario, Cat Mac, as she's affectionately known on this show. This is just the best, and something I'm so happy about. She was introduced at halftime of the Arsenal match, which was a gutsy move considering it was 0-0, and I think a little tense around the ground. And this was for a world record fee for a women's player, which is $1.1 million or like 920,000 Great British pounds. She is an absolute stalwart center back. She won 85% of her tackles last season in the NWSL in the States, placing her in the 98th percentile among center backs worldwide. She's well above average in clearances, but really her bread is buttered in progressive passes, where she is in the 97th percentile for progressive passes, the 97th percentile for pass completion, the 97th percentile in passes attempted, 88th percentile in progressive carries. If you watch the United States Women's National Team in the Olympics this summer, you saw this a ton, where she was able to break lines herself and carry the ball forward. 97th percentile in touches, 95th percentile in dribblers tackled, and so on, and so on, and so on. She's in the 56th percentile for shot creating actions as a center back. Wow. She's an outstanding player. There's no other way to frame this. This is the best possible signing that Chelsea could have made. And because the NWSL season essentially ends in November, this was really the first January window, which is kind of odd, kind of opposite the men's league, where you could have signed a player of this caliber. And so for Mr. Green and everyone in the sporting structure at Chelsea Women, just bravo. This is unbelievable. Lyon and Arsenal were both chasing her as well. And look, she joins, and Chelsea now have a world-class center back to potentially succeed Millie Bright whenever Millie Bright decides to hang up the boots and really step in as that captain, as that leader, which I have no doubt that she will do. Upon joining the Blues, Naomi Girma said, "I'm so happy and really excited to be here. It doesn't feel real." Very humble of her. Of course it should. There are a lot of things about Chelsea that made me want to come here. The culture, the winning mentality, staff and players, one player in particular, Cat Mac. It's a top environment to learn and grow in. Right now, that's what I'm looking to do. It was an easy choice for me. She also mentioned just about her play style and how she deals with pressure as a center back, which happens all the time. In the high pressure moments, I just remember why I play, and it's because it's something I love doing. When I have that perspective, I don't feel like I have expectations put on me or feel pressure. It just feels fun to play those important games with my teammates and friends. She's going to have a teammate and a friend in Katarina Macario, of course, who already plays for the U.S. women's national team and for Chelsea. Also, Mia Fishel, who's coming back from an injury as well. Little U.S. contingent here on the Chelsea women's team. But she's going to come in with the weight of expectations, the weight of being one of the world's very best players with that transfer fee. But her mentality, her easygoing nature makes me think that this is not going to be a big deal for her like it is for some other players who come in with hefty price tags and sometimes fail to live up to those expectations. She has in her first comments looking to learn, right? I want to learn. I want to be a part of this thing. That's a humble attitude for someone of her caliber and quality. And Sonia Bonpastor echoes these sentiments straight away. Naomi is a defender who's really comfortable with the ball in possession. She will bring a lot of confidence to the team. She's able to have a big impact because she's comfortable passing the ball short or long. She's also able to drive and create some advantages out of possession. Very smart player. She has a lot of speed, so she's able to play a really high line and cover the pitch, recover the ball with space in behind. It will bring a big impact to the team. Yes, it will. When you think that Chelsea have really operated with two healthy center backs, Meili Zimpom, a little young, not quite experienced enough to really take up the mantle quite yet, because of Kenisha Buchanan's injury, because Anique Nouwen's been injured and out of favor. This was a really important signing. Otherwise, you're banking on Natalie Bjorn and Millie Bright to stay healthy all season, or potentially figure out some combination of a fullback coming in and playing center back, which is not ideal for 100 reasons. So, or someone like Shuka Nuskin going back and playing center back, which is not taking advantage of her strengths, as we've seen, which is kind of as a chaos 10. So lots to go on here. But I think the main thing that this signals to me, and if you didn't know it already, now you do. Chelsea women want to win everything this year. They might not, right? They might fail or falter, but this is a signal of intent. You don't go out and sign the best available center back in the world if you don't mean business, and you already have a squad with breadth and depth, which we'll cover off on during the Arsenal part of this YouTube special. She is a signal of intent to every other team in world football, including Barcelona, including Lyon, including Arsenal, including Man City, whoever else you want to throw in there, Bayern Munich, all of them. Chelsea have the best squad in world football. I have zero doubts about this now. This was the last piece, and it's official. And Lucy Bronze is feeling herself too. And I think the whole team was kind of lifted by Naomi Girma signing because it was such a big deal. Lucy's gone and said some pretty bold stuff. And if you've watched the Chelsea men's team lately, this will seem like a complete aberration. She said, we're trying to win 4 trophies, and that's difficult. We wanted to get a good stretch of points to be in a good position where we're in the thick of it in March, April, and May, otherwise known by me as winning time. It's difficult, and you might drop points, but we're in a good place now, and we're on the up. We want to go the season unbeaten. There's records out there to break. Chelsea's a team that's always wanted to do that. We've never clinched the Champions League. We've got 5 league titles in a row, but going unbeaten would be unbelievable. We're on a good road to doing that, which is true. Chelsea have now beaten Arsenal twice, have 1 game left against Man United and Man City to, really kind of shore up points against the other title contenders. The rest of the league, unless you're Leicester City, who gave Chelsea some trouble right before the holiday break, has not really put up a fight. Chelsea's record in the league so far has been outstanding. 37 goals for, 6 goals against in 12 league games. That's 34 points. That's top of the table by a significant and comfortable margin. Lucy's not wrong. Lucy is putting it out there because Lucy has won the Champions League multiple times and knows what it's like. So Naomi Girma, welcome to Chelsea. Welcome to a winning team, a winning mentality. And yeah, let's chase that unbeaten quadruple. Who knows? Why not us? All right, let's get into the match review. I had to gush over Naomi Girma joining Chelsea. I just had to. It had to happen. Chelsea did beat Arsenal 1-0 at the weekend. It almost seemed like a sideshow compared to the Naomi Girma signing, but it did indeed happen. And for anyone who knows me or my preferences, beating Arsenal, they're the most hated rival in my book, and I love beating them. And we've beaten them a lot on the women's side recently, and I'm very happy about this. Chelsea win 1-0. Very contentious game, very difficult game. You know, a lot of weather was terrible at Stamford Bridge in front of a record crowd. I think 34,000 at Stamford Bridge. This was a up and down kind of game. Chelsea started dominant, faded a little bit, started dominant, faded a little bit. The end was kind of chaotic and scrambled. Chelsea win a penalty, a semi-controversial penalty at the end, and Guro Reiten slams it in for a 1-0 victory. You could see the passion, the roar, as we love to see. And Chelsea take the points. And, this was an interesting one because the lineup was not what you would have thought heading into a game of this magnitude. You would have thought every key contributor would have been a part of the starting lineup. And while the back line and goalkeeper were pretty standard, the midfield was pretty standard. Sandy Baltimore starts on the left instead of Guro Reiten. Kat Macario starts at number 10. Johanna Britton-Kanerid's back in the starting lineup, and Myra Ramirez up top. The bench options were ridiculous, and we'll talk about the impact of the bench players here in just a second. But the match overview was that possession was relatively even. We had 46% possession to their 54%. We had 6 big chances to their none, although Arsenal did threaten. They might not have had those like classic big chances. They were definitely threatening in this game. We had 21 total shots to their 10. Our goalkeeper, Hannah Hampton, made 2 saves to their 7. We had 9 corners to their 3, 11 fouls to their 8, slightly less passes, slightly more tackles, so on and so forth. But it was a pretty even game overall. I mean, I think Chelsea could have pounced very early in this game, had a goal or two in the first 20 minutes. Didn't quite have the finishing boots on in this one for whatever reason. And then the game kind of ebbed and flowed more. Arsenal did get back into it. I thought they were much better in this game than even they were at home. And that might, take some people aback, but that's okay. I thought it was a pretty even match. And, Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, pretty damn good in the WSL. Harry Edwards, of course, the stat man himself. Chelsea's WSL record at Stamford Bridge, 8 games, 8 wins, 20 goals scored, 4 conceded. Just in case you like winning and winning big. Sonia Bonpastor comes out and she said, I'm really pleased with the result. But as you can see, the game today, it's really fine margins between Arsenal and us. If you think back to the first game, Chelsea dominated early and then really faded late at the Emirates. It was a little more even today, but she said the performance was on edge. It could go one way or the other way. It went our way, which I'm really pleased with. But if you analyze the performance, it was a tough game. We didn't control everything in the game, but we were able to score. That goal brought us a great result. She said that Lauren James and Guro Reiten were key in this victory, of course. One winning the penalty, one getting the actual penalty to go in. It's never easy for them, these 2 amazing, really talented starter-level players, to not start the game, especially in a London derby. They have a lot of quality, but sometimes as a manager, you have headaches, but my job is to make decisions. And decisions she made, because it was pretty brave in this game to start without someone like, Guro Reiten on the left, someone like Lauren James, who's just getting healthy at this point in the year, which is critical because we're heading into that classic winning time period. Someone like Aggie Beaver-Jones, who has played really well for Chelsea this year, all over the pitch. And Micah Hamano in particular, who's a pressing god. She can do no wrong in my eyes. She's been unbelievable this season. And there was a key substitution pattern in this one that I wanted to kind of call out as my insight number 1 to this match. And that Chelsea have match winners all over the pitch and on the bench. You think about the subs. Micah Mono at halftime for Myra Ramirez, who was pretty ineffective in the first half. Micah comes into the number 10, of course, does her pressing thing. Kat Macario moves up to the striker position and starts to bob in and out and kind of do a little bit of false nine activity, which was really interesting. Not a classic line leader, but really interesting sort of positioning for those two who formed a good relationship. Lauren James comes in originally on the left, then kind of moves centrally. Gura Wrighton comes in, moves over to the left, pushes Lauren kind of all around the pitch in that free roll that she loves so much. And then Aggie comes in and, kind of rotates around. And I think those last 20 minutes, Chelsea were throwing a lot of different combinations at Arsenal, and they were having trouble keeping up. Now, add to the fact that, of course, Arsenal get a stupid red card, which was their own fault. And, when you look at, the totality of this game, McCabe absolutely deserved that red card. It was so dumb to kind of make a threatening motion at the ref. Like, you're an idiot. So I know there was a lot of consternation on Arsenal Twitter about that, but I mean, if you did that in the men's game, you'd be the same. So I don't understand what the big deal is here. I don't understand how you're backing this behavior up. It's really stupid. But Chelsea's breadth and depth shine here. Two players that were brought in the 57th minute and 77th minute end up winning this match for Chelsea. And that is with a really stacked starting lineup. You really think about this. Arsenal had to feel good, the fact that they weren't losing heading into the last kind of 15, 20 minutes. Chelsea just go and win this damn match. And it's incredibly, incredibly impressive. Lauren James kind of doing Lauren James things. Gura Wrighton, cool as a cucumber. Get to see that patented roar. It's a big moment in the season. Called it a couple weeks ago. You get past this match. We'll talk about the league table here in a second. Pretty much anything's possible. So, love that. It's the first league double over Arsenal in what seems like 100 years. I think it's over 5 years since we last did that. So very, very pleased about that. The second insight that I want to throw at you from this game, again, an even game, back and forth. There was a lot of defending to do. And boy, did the defense step up, and particularly the center back pairing. You have Naomi Girma coming in, obviously. Natalie Bjorn played her best game of the season. Maybe a coincidence, maybe not. She was absolute rock wall back there, along with Millie Bright, who wins everything in the air and basically, is a protective shield for the fullbacks who maybe get a little adventurous at times. This was such a crucial game for both these players. Arsenal did have a couple of really good chances. There were a few blocks in there. There was some key covering back. I think Hannah Hampton had a lot of confidence in both these players to kind of get the job done. And look, Natalie Bjorn gets a 7-6 on SofaScore. Millie Bright gets a 7-5. Neve Charles with a 7-7. These were the best performances on the pitch. And I think that does say something about how the game was played and where it was played and the chances that Chelsea did stifle there. So I think as you look at the squad and you think about how you get the best out of these players, Sonia talked a little bit about, with Naomi Girma, we might be able to play it back three and have some wing backs and start to create some mismatches with some width. That's a really interesting option for Bright and Bjorn and now Girma as your options there. You still, of course, can play the traditional back four, and Girma probably slots in as that left center back. She's left-footed, and that's kind of where she generally plays. Millie Bright goes back over to her more confident and comfortable right side. There's a lot going on here. I think because Sonia has inverted Bjorn and Bright this season, you kind of forget the different sorts of combinations that exist. But this is a very, very important signing for Chelsea, but it's also very important that Natalie Bjorn continues to play at a high level, because there are going to be so many matches for Chelsea as they advance in cup competitions throughout the end of the season that she's going to need to be rock solid and probably play with someone like Meili Zempam or maybe Lucy Bronze as an auxiliary center back for a game. She's going to need to be the rock. And we may look back on the Girma signing as the thing that took Chelsea over the top to our first Champions League, whatever. But to get there, to have a healthy Naomi Girma in the moments that matter, to have a healthy Millie Bright in the moments that matter, Natalie Bjorn is possibly going to be one of our most important players of the season. And I don't want that to get lost. So huge performance from her. And what that means is Chelsea are now first in the table, of course, 34 points. Man United on second on 27 points. Man City third on 25 points, all 12 matches played. Arsenal, 24 points. Chelsea are 10 points above Arsenal at this point in the season, which is insane. Brighton on 17, Tottenham on 17, Liverpool on 12, West Ham on 11, Villa on 10, Everton on 10, Leicester on 9, Crystal Palace, poor old Crystal Palace, on 5 points. So we're getting into February, right? We're not quite March, April, May winning time, but we're getting into February now. And in February, Chelsea have Villa coming up on Sunday, West Ham in the League Cup on February 5th, a FA Cup fifth round on Sunday, February 9th. And basically after that, you have Chelsea Everton on the 16th before an international break. And then you're back against Brighton on March 2nd. So only a few matches in February. This might give Girma a little bit of betting in time to get used to the team, to get used to the structure, the tactics, everything like that. We all know that coming in January is a difficult task. But if anyone can do it, it's going to be her. And I cannot wait to see her put on a Chelsea shirt, play left center back, and start this period of dominance for Chelsea Football Club. So I'm usually not this bullish about stuff. It just, there are moments where you sign a player and you're like, this is it. And this is one of those moments. So allow me to gloat just a smidge. But would love to hear what you have to think. Put your messages in the comments. If you want to come see Naomi Girma play against West Ham, which is a huge possibility, we're going over to London, and you have about 3 or 4 more days to register for the trip. Link in the description. We're going over to watch a men's FA Cup game, a women's WSL game, and Chelsea versus Spurs at home in the Premier League. So lots of fun activities. We'll do a live pod and all sorts of other stuff. But look, until next time, Chelsea fans, up the Naomi Girmas and up the Blues. Keep the blue flag flying high.